After the First World War, Germany was no longer recognized as the major European power it used to be. The reason for this was simple: the dreaded Treaty of Versailles. However, to truly understand what made this treaty so bad, we must go back to World War I. Germany had a sizable navy that was even big enough to take on the British, and that kind of scared the British. But Germany was just as scared. Why? Well, that's because France and the Russian Empire had officially made an alliance despite the whole, Napoleon thing. This means that if Germany were to go to war with France or the Russian Empire, they would have to fight on two fronts. And when going to war, that's a problem. Anyways, the war ended and a bunch of crazy stuff was invented. For example, the oversized toaster, the very brutal flame gun, or the flamethrower as we all call it today, and some crazy flying machine thingies. But in all seriousness, the war ended 4 years later and 19 million people lost their lives. The Allies decided to blame it on Germany and ended up making a treaty up called the Treaty of Versailles and forcing the Germans to sign it without any representation. The following is the treaty terms. Number 1. Naval Terms. Remember when I said that the German Navy was able to take on the British? Yeah, that's not going to be happening anytime soon because the German Navy was absolutely destroyed. To make sure that Britain was still the dominant force on the sea, Germany's Navy was stripped down to 6 battleships and nothing else. Number 2. Aerial terms. Like tanks, planes were newly invented and the Treaty of Versailles prevented Germany from having an air force. Number 3. Land forces. To prevent Germany from having any future offensives, their army was limited to only 100,000 men. Along with that, they weren't allowed to use tanks, and heavy artillery was limited as well. As to protect France, they were not allowed to put any sort of military in the Rhineland. And last but not least, number 4, economics. Most of us already know that war is a financial burden and is hard to come out of economically. So to solve this problem, they had Germany pay for the whole thing. The combined terms of this treaty led to the collapse of Germany and is what historians believe is the foundation for World War II. But what do you think? Do you believe that the terms are a bit harsh on Germany, or do you think the Allies should have gone a bit harder with them? Tell me that in the comments and I'll see you next time.